Hey, it's James Willoughby, and welcome back to the Austin Real Estate Roundup. Every week we talk about what happened the week before. In this case, the weeks before, I had some vacation time, so I apologize for missing a couple of weeks there. End of the year, or end of the summer, rather, vacation. Took precedence on that. But anyway, not a heck of a lot has happened in the last 3 weeks in terms of major change. I can show you here that, the total inventory in August continued to drop, and we're now sitting at right under 13 or 14,000, rather 13,953 on Monday morning. So you can see that's down from our high of 15. And we pull back and look at the curve. It looks very similar to the years before. And we had about 20% more inventory than we did this time last year. And this time last year had about 15% more inventory than the year before. So this gap between the years shows folks that bought in 2002 and 3, what's happened with inventory since they bought their home. And if we roll here to the active new listings versus new pendings, I always love this graph. You can see that the inventory growth that we had all year is that this red graph represents new listings each week, and this green graph below are the new pendings, homes that went under contract that week. So this gap between the high and the low here, that's inventory growth. So you can see we pull back and look at them. There's been a gap all year long. There's been a couple of times where it inverted. It inverted here, this was a holiday weekend. So yeah, not that many people put their home on the market on the July 4th holiday week, I guess you might call it. But it also inverted here, which is this last week. We had 789 new pennies versus 767 new active. So we actually inverted again. Is that a trend? No, not necessarily. But look at this. When you pull back here, look at the last several weeks from here to here. You can see our inventory is not growing. There's fewer people putting their homes on the market right now, which is not surprising because not everybody wants to be on the market in the fall, and we're officially in the fall market. Now, when people ask me how the market's going, I always ask them, exactly what that means to them. What does the market mean to them? I think they're actually saying, well, what's the health of the market? And to me, the health of the market is this absorption rate graph, which shows you how long it takes, how many weeks it would take to chew up all the current inventory if no other homes went on the market and we continue to pace at the right at or right under 800 homes that we've sold almost consistently all year long. And so I dropped a little bit because inventory dropped, and I'll show you that in a second, but we're at 17.6 weeks of inventory. So our absorption rate improved a little bit, but we're still, above that, 17 and a half and have been for some time. Whereas at the beginning of the year, we were under 12 weeks of inventory. So it was definitely a healthier spring than summer market, no doubt about it. Earlier, I mentioned, I explained why the inventory is down here. And this is why. This is the failed or expired listing graph, where we track every week. We're looking at how many homes failed to sell. In other words, they were taken off the market. We always have a spike at the end of each month. There's the end of August, and then there's the end of September. It's almost exactly the same number of expires as the previous year. But we lost 573 listings all in 1 week. It's causing the inventory to go down, which is good. You can see if you look carefully that there's some more spikes coming up here in October, November, and December, and of course, January 1st. If you look at what happened in January 1st, first week of January, which is really the last week of December of last year, we had almost 900 expires. So we'll see the continued expired listings. Those are folks that are giving up the idea of selling, at least for this year, and pulling off the market, which less inventory is always better. What I'm finding is a lot of the homes that pulled off the market, they were unfortunately way too high and they weren't getting any showings. So I keep hearing from people through the grapevine, oh, my friend's selling their home and they haven't had a showing in 3 months. Well, that's just price, because with 800 homes selling a week, it would make sense that their home's not being shown only because people are not accepting their asking price. Anyway, and then next week we'll cover interest rates. So we'll talk about that next week. Till that time, have a great week and call us if you have any questions. Thanks so much. Bye bye.